Thank you very much. I have to tell you, the honor is all mine. I appreciate the invitation um, to be able to come to EANGUS and be recognized and allow me to speak. It may not be a big deal to y'all, but it's a big deal to me. I just ask you to bear with me. I spent 33 years as a soldier in the National Guard. I'm not a speaker, I'm a soldier. So I'm gonna walk my way through this. But I am a National Guard guy, no question about it. Talk to you about a couple of things. I got up this morning, I said some prayers for the folks in Houston, Texas. The devastation is amazing. I think we got 4,000 citizen soldiers who grabbed their bags this morning, and they're moving to the sounds of the guns right now. There's no question in my mind that that group of soldiers and airmen out in Texas are going to bring calm to chaos. They're going to take care of folks. I guarantee you there'll be lives saved by citizen soldiers, and they'll be doing things that the average person out there in the world has no idea that the things that they'll be facing this morning. They're going to make a difference because that's what they've been doing for about 300 years. It's going to be the same today. It got kind of personal this morning. I've got a daughter that's 27 years old, and she's in Houston, Texas. She moved there about a month and a half ago, and her and her husband are in a neighborhood. And when I talked to her this morning at 4:30, she had water in her front yard. The road looks like a creek out front. There were a couple of old gray-headed guys in kayaks out there in the street. But I have to tell you, I talked to Megan, and she's kind of a nervous Willie anyway. And as a father, the reason that I'm able to speak to you this morning and that I'm not in my car headed to Texas is because I know that the Texas National Guard is there. They're doing what needs to be done, and my little girl's going to be fine. And there's no question in my mind. And I'm very grateful. You know, I spent my life in the Guard. I have a lot of confidence. I'm the biggest fan, and I trust them. I trust them with my dearest things, and that's my daughter. So they're going to be fine. They're doing what we do this morning, and I can't be prouder of them. I don't know where Texas is. I know they're probably thinning out. They probably got a lot going on, but we're all here for you. EANGUS, National Guard Memorial Building. Who would have thought? I couldn't be prouder. I am absolutely tickled to death to have EANGUS, your national headquarters, in the National Guard Memorial Building, along with NGAUS in Washington, D.C. I know there was a lot of angst back and forth, but the end thing is that I could go up there and I can corner up Sergeant Major Yoakum any morning that I need to in his office. He can't get away from me. You know, I got to tell you something. I went to Washington, D.C. I spent my career in Mississippi. I heard all these really bad things about Washington, D.C. and what goes on the Hill, and everybody's fighting. And, you know, I'm from Mississippi. I like a good fight, but I didn't really understand what I was getting into. And I went up there, and this issue came up on 12304 Bravo. Does everybody understand what 12304 Bravo is? I mean, do you get it? Do you realize the impact that it has on soldiers and airmen and their families? It's huge. This thing came into being in 2012. It took us a couple of years to get our arms around it, but it is a big deal. So about 3 months ago, and I got to tell you something. If you don't believe that this partnership between EANGUS and NGAUS and AJUS is a great thing, then you're not paying attention. We truly started working 12304 Bravo about 3 months ago on the Hill. Your led staff out of EANGUS, my led staff out of NGAUS, the leadership at AJUS, we made countless trips to the Hill. Every time I went over there, what I talked to them about is I talk kind of slow, so they all listen pretty closely because they can't figure out where I'm from. And I told them, I said, this is not about generals. This is not about colonels. This is about young people. This is about soldiers and airmen and their families. And this is not fair, and it's not right. And we need to all come together from both sides of the aisle, Democrats and Republicans, and this needs to get fixed. And I said that in every office that would allow me to talk over the last 90 days. I never got a single pushback from a Republican or a Democrat or anybody on the liberal side of the aisle or on the conservative side of the aisle. This was a National Guard issue that was worked on by all of the associations associated with the National Guard. In 90 days, this legislation went through. 12304 Bravo, at least the education part, was fixed. Unheard of. I never would have believed that it could have happened that fast. And I'm here to tell you, I firmly believe if it wasn't for the partnership and the integration of the activities going on at EANGUS and NGAUS and NGAUS, it would not have happened. I'm proud to have been a part of it. Let me tell you something. Washington is not quite as broke as people would like for you to think when it's a National Guard issue. Everybody comes together, and I'm thankful for it. I talked to Sergeant Major the other day. You know, we do officer professional development on the NGAUS side. We bring about 100 officers in each year. We do it twice a year. We do this little 2.5 day deal. I've talked to Sergeant Major Yoakum. I think that what we'd like to offer to EANGUS is we may add on about 5 or 10 slots to each of those iterations, and let's fill in some of those seats with some junior enlisted soldiers, and let them come up and experience the memorial and what goes on the Hill, and try to help to kind of get them integrated into a combined OPD. I think it's a good idea. What do y'all think? So I guess, man, I keep seeing this clock tick down. I just got started, and this thing is already under a minute, so I got to wrap this thing up. Look, don't underestimate the power of our associations. You know, the historical legacy that EANGUS has and the historical legacy that NGAUS has were passed down to us through a lot of very dedicated people who walked before us. And I don't take that lightly. Those are two very, very powerful and respected organizations on the Hill. In fact, I don't know that there's any other military organization, because of our grassroots association with the 54 states and territories, that's any stronger. But you got to understand, EANGUS and NGAUS is a team. We work together. It's not so important that we always agree on every detail, but it's important that we're in the same room, have the same conversation, and in the areas where we agree, we need to be together, because we could really make things happen. And I got to tell you, from this day forward, I took over 6 months ago. I'm still kind of doing my 6-month assessment. I'm convinced that the key to this relationship is transparency. And I'm a pretty straight talking guy. I say what's on my mind. I don't pull punches. I tell you the truth. You don't always like what I say, but you know where I stand. So if you don't want to hear it, don't ask. I mean that. We need to be transparent. We need to be transparent both ways. It's important. There's a trust and transparency that you can't get, and we have to make sure that we do that, because we're on the same team. We work together. So I saw this saying a couple of weeks ago, and I'm telling you, it just hit me. It makes sense. The National Guard has been fighting for our life ever since we've been in existence. It's a constant fight that we're in, and I saw this saying. Some of you might have seen it, but I think it's kind of cool. Fight like you're the third monkey on the ramp to Noah's Ark, and it's starting to rain. And I'm telling you, I feel like I'm that third monkey, and I need you guys in the fight with me. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. It's great to be here.